All right, everybody. I finally have some time here to review the Hans Zimmer live concert I went to at Madison Square Garden on Thursday night, 2 nights ago. So, Jason, Dale, and I went. We've been both fans of Hans Zimmer for goodness, probably 30 years now. And so, this has been a high priority bucket list item for me, especially to visit him in concert. And finally, he did a U.S. tour. I don't think he's done one since before COVID. So I have eagerly been looking forward to this, and it was nothing less than spectacular. It was unbelievable. The amount of talent that was on that stage with him, from the orchestra to the individual musicians. There's a lot of guitarists. There was people playing upright bass. There was flutes. There was every instrument you can think of, including Hans himself playing guitar, Hans doing conducting, Hans on the piano and the synthesizer. It was a completely immersive 3 hour concert. They did two sets, and it was unbelievable. It totally did not disappoint. The crowd was energetic. It was packed, sold out show, and there were, a lot of stuff from mostly, I'd say, the past 25 years. There really wasn't anything from the 90s other than The Lion King. They did do a Lions King suite where they did a bunch of different songs, and then this huge African choir came out, and they did, I'd say, a good 15 minutes of stuff from The Lion King, which ended the show basically. And then they came back for an encore and did another, I think, three different songs after that. Other than that, yeah, there really wasn't much from the '90s. I was a little disappointed in that because there were some stuff from the '90s that I loved. I would have loved to have heard stuff from Crimson Tide. Uh, Also, there was some really great music in Pacific Heights. Black Rain has a very memorable theme that I loved, and that's just, you know touching the surface. Obviously, from the '80s, there was things from Rain Man I would have liked to have heard, Driving Miss Daisy. The list goes on and on. But we still got a lot of great stuff. We had the Dark Knight. They did a Dark Knight suite, so stuff from three of those films, which was unbelievable. Touched on Pirates of the Caribbean, of course. Did a little suite of that. We had stuff from two or three different stuff from Dune, and we had some really great vocalizations with the Dune stuff. The people doing those chants, that was unbelievable. The amount of range in the voices that were doing those operatic chants from Dune were unbelievable. They had this one female singer that was, I couldn't believe it. She was holding notes for long periods of time. There was even Hans introduced her and said he couldn't believe her ability. She was like a miracle worker, doing things that he thought was impossible. So that was amazing. It was really great, and there was a light show with it, so the lights would emulate the kind of the vibe of each movie, and so there was a lot of coloring, a lot of backdrops. There was some visuals on a screen that really immersed us, and it was really great. The crowd was so energetic. I think they erupted into applause, like, you know, monstrous applause for a good amount of stuff. But I remember Interstellar was a huge hit. I mean, I love that soundtrack. The movie was great, but the soundtrack was amazing. And so when that started, everybody was just rapturous. It was great. Everybody pulled out their phone. Everybody was filming that. That was really great. Amazing to see that live. And of course, my favorite was Time from Inception, and that's my favorite piece of music he's ever done. I think it's such an amazing track. The whole soundtrack to that movie is amazing. I love that movie. That movie was my favorite movie of Christopher Nolan's until I saw Oppenheimer. So that music means a lot to me. And to hear Time live just totally blew me away. What a bucket list moment that was. Because I've used that track in a lot of little editing projects I've done. I put it in the short film that I made for my wedding. I made a little video for Bernie when Bernie dropped out of the 2020 race. And I did like a testimonial video for what Bernie means to me, and I put that song in that. So it's a very important track to me. I love it. And so that's what they closed the show with. He actually brought out his daughter, and he goes, "We've never done this before, but she's going to play with me." So they both played the piano on time, and that was the showstopper. Everybody loved that. What a beautiful moment that was. I didn't get too into the weeds with filming a lot of stuff. I did clips. I filmed maybe 15, 20 seconds of a bunch of stuff here and there. I filmed in its entirety The Time, and I filmed The Dark Knight Suite. And the rest was just little fragments. I did a little bit of an extended, maybe a minute and a half or so, of when they started doing Gladiator, which I love that soundtrack. And the female singer came out, I forget her name, and she was belting out all those beautiful vocalizations that we remember in that Gladiator theme. And so that was beautiful to watch live. You know, it was just a really special show. You know, film lovers were out and we were loving it. And I was just so happy to be around so many people that just love great, great music. And, you know, composers today are the modern day Mozarts and Beethovens of our time. And it's just so great that they get such a mass audience from their music being in film and in TV. And so it was great to see. It was a really, really great show. One of the best concerts I've been to. Just the energy in the room was amazing. Fantastic. And, you know, he did pepperings of stuff from other songs, from other movies. That he did a little bit from No Time to Die. Did a little bit from Dark Phoenix, the X-Men film that I could have done without. Even he, it was funny, he even prefaced that from like, yeah, you know, sometimes there's movies that don't turn out as good as we'd like them to, but we still love playing the music. And that's how we introduced Dark Phoenix without saying the name of the film. And then I heard it and I'm like, wait, I know this music. What is this from? And I just couldn't pinpoint what it was from. So I just, you know, obviously let my phone listen to it, search for song feature on Google, and it came right up. I'm like, oh, okay, so that's Dark Phoenix. And I'd only seen that film once. So, but the music I've heard a lot because I listen to a lot of Hans Zimmer's mixes on Spotify. And so that's probably why it's so familiar to me. And so it was still good to watch. It was a really great track, but I would have loved if they'd utilized that time to play something else that we would have loved to. Even another track from Inception would have been great. Because we only got two. We got Time at the end, and then they played the theme from Mombasa, the scene in the film where they introduced Tom Hardy's character, if you're familiar with Inception. But, you know, nevertheless, it was a great show, and we had a great time, and Jason and I had an awesome night all together. It was just a blast. And a cool special moment was that actually that was Hans Zimmer's birthday. And he announced it. He said he almost kind of forgot it was his birthday. But I don't know if I believe that, but whatever. It made for a good show, you know. And then during the Lion King segment, when that suite ended, the lead singer, he said, I'm going to take over for a minute. I'm in charge. And he started singing, and the orchestra kind of came in with him, and they started singing Happy Birthday to Hans Zimmer. So then the whole audience, Happy Birthday, you know, that was really a cool moment. I said to Jason, like, there's a moment I never thought I'd have, wishing a world-famous composer happy birthday. So that was fun. So overall, it was a fantastic show. If Hans Zimmer's coming to your city, really, and if you're a film lover and you love his music specifically, I can't recommend highly enough going to see him live. Fantastic. And it was just really an exciting experience, once in a lifetime experience. I mean, I'll probably never get the opportunity again. And him being my favorite composer of all time, although neck and neck with John Williams. I mean, I'd love to see John Williams live. I mean, they're arguably two of the most prolific and successful and, you know, I would say important film composers of all time. You know, I mean, they're literally going to be remembered forever. And the contribution to film, to music, is undeniable. And they've inspired so many artists to come and carry the baton of great scores. And, you know, I don't think we'll see this kind of talent again. Such prolific abilities here. I mean, the amount of stuff that Hans Zimmer has done, it's incredible. Incredible. It's just amazing. I mean, I would have loved to have heard some of his music from Blade Runner 2049. I mean, the list goes on of things I would have loved to hear, but we got enough great stuff that it was really enjoyable, and I couldn't have been more happy. And I went a little crazy with buying merch. I said, this is once in a lifetime. I'm just going to go all out, and I'm going to buy the things I really like. So first I wanted a shirt. I always have to buy a shirt. Not always, but most of the time. So I bought this really cool shirt, Hans Zimmer Live. Let me try to get it in the frame here. Pretty cool. And it has the tour dates on the back, which is neat. So that's pretty cool. So you can see that. So I have that shirt, and that'll obviously shrink because that's pretty big. And I wanted a hat, so I got a hat. Pretty cool, simple. I'm kind of minimalist in the clothing that I like to wear. I don't like a lot of busyness, so these were the simplest, and I like these. So the hat's cool. And then I also said, you know what? I'm going to get a winter hat too. So I got the winter hat. So now I have this too. So I can celebrate Hans Zimmer all year round. And this fits really nice. And I actually needed a new hat anyway, so that was kind of like my reasoning, even though this was $35 and the other hat was $35 and the shirt was $40. So it was a once in a lifetime show, and I haven't splurged at an event in a long time. I think the last time I went crazy buying a bunch of like stuff was at the gift shop at the Wynn Hotel in 2008. I spent $300 in there, and I bought a $120 or whatever it was money clip. Hey, but I used that thing for like 15 years, and I still have it. So that was a good purchase. So I don't regret it. But I don't splurge on that kind of stuff that often. And I even had to spend $1 to get this Madison Square Garden bag, so I didn't have to lug my stuff around the entire night. But it was a great show. It was a great night, and it'll be forever in my memories. And I'm very thankful that Jason and I had the opportunity to go see it together, because he's the biggest Hans Zimmer fan that I know, and him and I for years have just enjoyed the music, especially the Pirates 3 soundtrack. When we were making our film Fight the Panda Syndicate between the years of 2007 and 10 roughly, I can't tell you how many times we would talk about the film as we were making it and shooting it and editing it in his car driving with that theme playing, and it was so inspirational. And it really also was a big inspiration to the composer who did the music for Fight the Panda Syndicate, the wonderfully talented and brilliant Glenn Gabriel from Sweden. And he's been having a lot of success the past 15 years with his career as a composer. And he had always said that he was a big fan of Hans Zimmer, and we were the first film that he did, which is really special for us. So it was great, and Hans didn't disappoint. So I guess I'll leave it at that. A little longer than I would have liked, but I had a lot to say. So thanks for watching, and happy listening.